Thank you all for coming to this. I know there's a lot of other activities going on right now. I really appreciate it. By the way, I did have a couple of drinks before I got up here tonight.
Alcohol!
The thing is, I have some liver issues, so I've had to cut back on my alcohol, like a lot, for a few years now. So, actually, the cool thing about cutting back is I've noticed it takes less drinks to get a good buzz going. So that part's cool. I haven't been this buzzed since yesterday. Sometimes my friends and I like to quote lines from movies as they apply to real-life situations. For example, we find ourselves in an overcrowded rowboat in the middle of the ocean, a situation where clearly a larger boat is required. One of us will invariably say, "Looks like we're facing the Kobayashi Maru." I'd like to do a quick impression for you of a 10-second version of Citizen Kane. Ready? 10-second Citizen Kane. Rosebud. What did he say? Nosebleed? Credits. One more quick impression. The ending of Titanic. Spoiler alert. Something like this. Jack, 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 here's the boat, Jack, Jack, here's the boat. Thank you. I discovered something while watching that movie Taken with Liam Neeson. The running time of Taken is 93 minutes. But if you back it up a couple seconds every time Liam Neeson does something totally badass, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes. You're welcome. I like to apply some of those badass tactics in real life situations. Snap the dude's neck who's rude to the Starbucks employees. Or, I don't know, punch the guy in the throat who walks right up to the counter pretending like there's no line. "Hey, buddy." Or, I don't know, headbutt some old lady in the supermarket who comes up to the express line with 15 items.
Woo!
Yeah. Too far? Speaking of too far, I'm really a horrible person. You know what I did the other day? Actually, I didn't do anything. I just thought this, so I guess it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. I'm at the BART station. That's a commuter train in the San Francisco Bay Area. And the train's really crowded like it usually is. They have these seats right by the doors, but I never like to sit there because they're reserved for the elderly and handicapped and whatever. Anyway, one of these seats is empty and no one seems to want it. So I sit down. I figure I can at least sit down for one stop, right? Not much to ask, just one stop. But the doors don't close right away. And I'm thinking, close the doors, I don't want to have to get up. And sure enough, there's an old lady with a cane coming up the escalator, and close the door, she's trying to catch the train, close the doors please, I just want to sit for one stop. I don't even want to talk about what really happened next. Okay, she got on, I got up, and she was really nice and polite and gracious and What I really wanted to see was her reaching in and the doors closing in on her arm, and then the train would start to leave and she'd be dragged across the platform, tapping her cane on the window. Tunnel. And then her arm would plop to the floor and everyone standing would kick it around. That's bad. Here's another reason why I'm a horrible person, since that went over so well. As I get older and I have difficulty staying awake past 10, I start to think that if there was a way to harness the energy of small children and absorb it myself, I'd totally do it. Even if it drained them. So basically, if I could do it, I would totally become something that Buffy Summers would have to kill. And there'd be no hesitation on her part either. I wouldn't be a recurring character. I'd be a one episode and dead kind of Buffy monster. trying to explain that shit to her, you know, I can't stay up late. Grr, arg. It refreshes. Whenever I participate in International Talk Like a Pirate Day, I like to do this. Say, is that a Navy SEAL with a snipe? I love my smartphone, but when I first got it, I kept touching the wrong part of the screen and clicking on ads and stuff. The worst was once I was on Twitter and I was scrolling through my tweets, and if you linger too long on one tweet, this other menu pops up. And if you're still touching the screen, you could accidentally select one of the options, like reply, or worse, you could select retweet, which is what I did. I didn't even know what I retweeted. I just saw this notification, you have retweeted this message, and all I'm thinking is, please don't be something by Kevin Smith. Please don't be something by Kevin Smith. And sure enough, the next thing I know, some kind of online sex store called Adam and Steve is now following me on Twitter, and something called Fleshlight is following me on Twitter. And I didn't even know what a fleshlight was, but I put 2 + 2 together, and I'm pretty sure I just tweeted about some kind of masturbation aid. Turned out it was some kind of 2 of 3 message about the fleshlight, so it didn't even make any sense. It was just the middle part of Kevin Smith's brain farts. And the really funny thing is that my wife not only follows me on Twitter, but also has it set up so that when I tweet, she gets it sent to her as a text message. So she thinks I'm sending her a text about the fleshlight. Like, what do you think of this? Could be fun, right? I'm gonna stop by the marital aid store and bring home a new sexy toy. Except this one's just for me. Okay. I'm gonna now tell you what my wife calls the pink suit story. It involves an old suit of mine that was not actually pink, but my wife called it the pink suit because it had the ever so tiniest amount of pink pinstriping in the design. The actual color of the suit was charcoal, but for the purposes of the story and to make my wife happy, we shall call it the pink suit, even though it wasn't actually pink. Okay. 1999, an organization called the Society for the Preservation of Film Music was giving a special dinner and Lifetime Achievement Award to film composer Lawrence Rosenthal, who scored many important films in the 60s, such as Raisin in the Sun and The Miracle Worker, and also the 1981 version of Clash of the Titans. Yes. I had the honor of editing the video for this event. It was a montage of film clips showcasing Mr. Rosenthal's work over the years. And so it was a big night for me. I'm a huge film music nerd, and I love editing film clips, so I was really grateful for this opportunity, it was because of my day job. I work at a record label that releases nothing but film scores. Yes, there is such a thing, and yes, that is what I do. Okay, it's the big night. We're at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood, this historic place where the very first Academy Awards happened. And I spent some time with the tech people doing a sound check for the video. It looks great, it sounds great, so now I have about 15 minutes to head back up to the room and get ready. So I've got my suit, the pink suit that's not really pink. The thing is, before I left the house, I just threw the thing into a garment bag. What I didn't do was try it on to see if it still fit. I mean, you know, why would I do that? It had only been a little tight the last time I wore it, about 1.5 years ago. So, you know, what could go wrong? Jesus Christ! Okay, I now have about 10 minutes. My roommate for this trip is my co-worker, Mark. I don't know Mark all that well, except he's a Mormon dude who loves Italian horror movies. He immediately assesses the situation and, like some kind of strange combination between MacGyver and Ninja, drops to his knees, puts his hand on my pants, and I don't know how he did it, but he got it. He got it. So now, I'm walking around this thing like after my first junior high school slow dance. Meeting and greeting people. And oh, did I mention there's a dinner? Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a dinner. So at this point, I just hope the little metal clasp doesn't snap off and take out a bunch of film composers who I happen to be big fans of. Sorry, Mr. Morricone. Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman. There's more than one Newman. Miraculously, everything holds together. The video goes over really well. In fact, right after the video, Lawrence Rosenthal gets a standing ovation. It was awesome. Either that or I passed out on my plate of food and dreamt it all. I'll leave you with one final thought before I go. Here's what I figure we'll all be saying this coming December. Ah, fuck, the Mayans were off by 1 year.